What's up, guys? Welcome to Nolan Talks. It's a great day to be an LSU fan. A lot of great things happened today. Today was the first day of the early signing period, and from the top, LSU landed the number one recruit in Louisiana, MAASON Smith, defensive tackle, number one in the state of Louisiana, number two at his position, according to 24/7 Sports. And I think we all knew he was coming to LSU, but today he finally committed and he signed, and it's a great feeling. We know we secured him. He's an absolute beast, one of the best defensive tackles to come through Louisiana in years, honestly. Maybe since, Rashad Lawrence in 2016. But he's an absolute stud, and, depending on the defensive coordinator position next year, the scheme we run, he'll play the nose tackle in that 3-4. And in the 4-3, he'll play that one technique nose tackle as well. He's 6'5", 316, and he's very fast, very athletic. I think over the pandemic, in one of his YouTube videos, he talked about how he lost like 40 pounds because he seriously committed to the weight room and committed to his diet. But one of the best recruits Ed Orgeron has signed, LSU signed, and it's awesome. It's great. It's very exciting to see a player like that come to LSU, stay home. Coach O was right. He said, we're going to protect the borders of Louisiana, and he did that. He got MAASON Smith, homegrown guy, and it's awesome that we got him, and it's very exciting to see what he's going to do for LSU. He'll be an early enrollee. I expect him, like all the other freshmen in his class, to play right away, but especially MAASON Smith. I mean, we've been struggling on that defensive front, and he's going to come and play right away. So awesome pickup for LSU. Couldn't be happier that MAASON Smith commits to LSU. It's absolutely awesome that he's going to be wearing the purple and gold. He had a cool ceremony when he committed. He came out to Young Boy NBA, and I think we all know as LSU fans that when that song starts playing any Young Boy song starts playing, it's LSU. So when he came out to that, he was wearing this number 94 LSU jersey. We all knew, good things are coming for MAASON Smith at LSU. But like that signing and that commitment, there's a lot of other things that happened today. LSU signed 19 of their 22 commits right now. The downside to that is we lost two really good players. We lost JoJo Earl out of Texas, and we lost Keanu Coate. They both signed with Alabama, and that's honestly sickening and heartbreaking. I was messaging a guy on Twitter, and we were talking about how nothing worse than losing a recruit to a SEC West opponent, especially a team like Alabama, who they're the standard and we want to compete with. And I was really excited to see JoJo Earl at LSU. I thought he was a beast. He would play that slot receiver. He's a 4-star recruit. I was very excited to see him, and I thought he'd be a guy who saw early playing time. But what can you do? I mean, he said he wasn't going to sign. Well, he said he was going to sign with LSU today, and then he said he wasn't going to sign until February, and then earlier this morning he said he was going to sign. He picked Bama, and it sucks saying that, but it is what it is at this point. If you're not an LSU guy, we want LSU. We want kids in there who love LSU, want to come play for our school, and they're not back and forth on decisions, and it is what it is at this point. It really is. But I mean, other than that, we had 4 commitments today. We had a running back out of Alabama, Godwin. We had a receiver out of Louisiana, a corner out of Florida, and a JUCO linebacker. And those guys were all 4-star recruits. So, we really finished this class pretty strong. We lost, two good players to Alabama, but overall we finished the early signing period really well for us. Just looking at LSU Twitter, everyone's like, yeah, we lost some players, but one of the best classes LSU's had in a while. I think the last really great class we had was 2017, I'd say, with all those impact players of Kayvon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, a few players just to name, and it was a good class overall. I think it was great. We kept Sage Ryan, which apparently there was some smoke there. People were a little nervous about him signing today, but he signed today with LSU. That's awesome. Landon Jackson, apparently he was on the fence when it came down. When it came to a signing I thought he was an LSU lock, but there was tweets about him potentially not coming to LSU and maybe staying in Texas, playing for like Texas A&M or playing for Texas. But he ended up signing with LSU. Yeah, and it was a good overall signing today. We signed 19 players. We still have 3 players who are committed that haven't signed. Rayshawn Davis out of California, Savion Jones out of Louisiana, and Karhi G out of Georgia. Rayshawn Davis was one of our first commits in this class, so seeing that he didn't sign is a little bit of gets me a little anxious because maybe he's having second thoughts. I mean, he committed, I believe he committed in July of last year, and he was one of our first commits, and I thought he was an LSU guy, going to be the leader of this class, building this class together, but he didn't sign today, and that doesn't look too good for LSU. I think he's having second thoughts. Maybe USC is still looking at him, and maybe he's interested in that still, maybe staying at home, because, Louisiana is pretty far for him. And another big flaw for this class is offensive line. We signed the lineman out of Michigan, Garrett Dellinger, who's a great player. He'll be an early enrollee as well. But, the big hole in this class is offensive line. It's a glaring issue, and I would say it's our number one priority, especially, trying to compete in the SEC West when you're going against incredibly athletic and big defensive lines. You got to have those offensive linemen who are maulers and, can move people up front, and you got to recruit at a high level. And LSU just hasn't done that over the past few years, and that's I know it's on Coach O, but James Craig has not been producing when it comes to the recruiting front. So that leads me into my next topic of Tristan Leigh. He's so important for this class. I know MAASON Smith was the number one recruit in Louisiana, so he's going to be a priority. But, man, we really need Tristan Leigh. And I saw that MAASON Smith, there was a tweet where he talked about how his priority now is to land Tristan Leigh. And Tristan Leigh responded saying, bro, with a fist emoji. So you never know what that means, but I think it looks good for LSU. We got a few more weeks to kind of lock in on him. We got the bulk of our class signed, so we don't got to worry about them anymore. But there's still some players we're looking at. Coach O said he's been looking at JUCO offensive linemen, and he's been recruiting some offensive linemen. Still, he's going to add some more. He said we have a silent commit offensive lineman, so I don't know what that means, but hopefully it's Tristan Leigh. You never know. There's a lot of smoke there with Oklahoma. I think he ends up at LSU, but I do not know because these guys are 18 years old and, they make a decision one day, then they can change their mind the next day, so you really never know. So getting him is an absolute priority for this class. I think my favorite player in this class it's either Chris Hilton or Deion Smith out of Mississippi. I watched their highlights and they're free. They're gonna see the field like early. Them and with Keyshawn Boutte and hopefully Eric Gilbert comes back, but that's gonna be a deadly lineup at receiver. Coach O compared Deion Smith out of Mississippi to Justin Jefferson. I totally see it. They're both like very agile and have that like athletic route running ability. So I think it's very important that those players get in a class like this, and they'll see the field early, like no doubt about it. We got Garrett Nussmeier, who's a beast. He's gonna roll early, which I love. I honestly think one of the most important things for a recruit, especially a team like LSU, when you recruit players, you have to get them to enroll early. I think that's so important that they get in there in the spring, get those reps going against SEC type players. They get a college weight room for a spring, for a winter, get in that program, get stronger, get a little faster, understand the playbook a little more, get acclimated to college life. I think that's so important. And this year, we actually have a decent amount. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we have 8 coming in, and that's like the most from what I can remember. I think 2013 we had 5 or 4 that enrolled early, but usually LSU is not a really big enroll early school, so it's great. It's great that we get early enrollees in a great class like this, one of the best classes literally since I can remember. And I'm so excited for this class. I'm really excited to see the running backs. We got Corey Kiner out of Ohio. He's going to see the field right away. He's a beast. He broke like I think he won Ohio Player of the Year there. I remember just seeing Twitter. He was dropping like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, so he's an absolute stud. I haven't watched too much film on this new commit out of Alabama, this Armani Godwin. He's a small guy. He's only 5'8", 190, but apparently people are saying they remind him of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I mean, you never know. I gotta watch his huddle, watch some film on him. I haven't watched too much. I haven't watched any film on any of the new commits today. I've watched film on just about every other commit we have, but of the new guys, I haven't watched too much film, so I'll definitely have to take a deep dive into that. I just want to reiterate how important it is that we get offensive linemen in this class. I mean, guys like Tristan Leigh, I just never got this. Like as a recruit, when you're looking at a school, I know you want to look for a school that's going to develop you into an NFL type player. LSU can most definitely do that, especially when you look at our depth chart. Like Tristan Leigh I hope he knows. Like if the second he walks on campus, he's literally going to be a starter, either left tackle or right tackle. He's big enough to even play guard, but we could use him at left tackle or right tackle. Like it's very important that he understands how the second he walks on that LSU campus, he's going to be a day one starter. Overall great class. Derek Davis Jr. He was a surprise commit that a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, he committed. I'm really excited to see how he plays. Him and Sage Ryan at the safety duo position it's going to be deadly to watch. I'm really excited for this class. I think that LSU did really well. Just got to continue to build off this momentum. That Florida game we just won. Got this 1 week left. Ole Miss, we're favored by 1.5 points, which isn't much. And I know Ole Miss is going to be tough to stop with our defense because they got a pretty, I wouldn't say explosive offense, but they got Lane Kiffin who's going to drop some decent plays and put his players in the best position to succeed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this last game goes. But, yeah, I think we had some great momentum going into the signing day today with that Florida win. And I think recruits took notice of that. And, yeah, it's a great day to be an LSU fan. I appreciate you guys listening. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are all staying safe. And go Tigers.